Thousands of people from thousands of cities, some by land and some by sea, from east and west, north and south, come for every festival to the temple as to a shared haven, to a harbor sheltered from the storms of life. These words, written by the Jewish philosopher Philo of Alexandria 2,000 years ago, describe the extraordinary journey of hundreds of thousands of Jews, women, men, children, who left the comforts of home and walked hundreds of kilometers to reach the spiritual capital of the Jewish people, Jerusalem. The pilgrimage in the Second Temple period, 3 times a year for Passover, Shavuot, and Sukkot, was a challenging journey full of hardships. Groups from nearby villages would join together in the district capital, and from there they would set out in a convoy at first light. Arise, let us go to Zion.
Good morning.
Is it morning already? They must have sold me a broken alarm clock.
Wait for us.
The merry convoy makes its way to the rhythm of a flute and song. Who by foot, and who by vehicle, who will march in the throng? Even the ox is decorated in honor of the occasion. His horns are coated in gold, and an olive wreath adorns his head. Morale is high. Everyone is celebrating until the first ascent. Jerusalem is more than 700 meters above sea level. No matter where they're coming from, in the end, they have to climb. Fortunately, the authorities have built a system of roads for the convenience of the pilgrims. In a study that I conducted together with my father, the scholar of the land of Israel, Yigal Tepper, we found rock-cut stepped roads. Stepped roads ascending to Jerusalem from west, north, south, and east. We believe these are the roads that Josephus describes as carrying the people. Roads used by the Jews on their way to the temple in Jerusalem. It's a long journey. To relieve the Tedeum, the able-bodied race to see who will get there first. Usually the boys reap the glory, but not always. It once happened that the girls arrived ahead of the boys, so it was seen that the girls were swift, whereas the boys lagged behind. The journey takes a long time. Convoys from all over the country come together as they near their destination. One last effort, and then suddenly the walls of Jerusalem appear. The city that they have been yearning to reach stretches out before them in its full glory.
Wow.
In their hearts is the eternal verse, "Our feet stood inside your gates, Jerusalem." But now, on the verge of entering the city, the pilgrims start worrying. The people of Jerusalem are dignitaries, priests, the upper class. How will they treat us? How will they receive us, common villagers from the periphery?
Fix your collar.
A delegation from the city comes out to greet them, and the pilgrims step in hesitantly. Then everything stops. The people of Jerusalem stand up to greet the pilgrims. They give them a warm welcome. "Our brothers, come in peace." Brothers, what an eternal word. Oh, thank you very much. Tens of thousands of Jews come to Jerusalem from all over the world. They wear all sorts of styles and speak a hodgepodge of languages: Hebrew, Latin, Aramaic, Greek. They've all come together to celebrate in Jerusalem. After all the greetings and excitement, they have to find a place to spend the night. Many of the pilgrims are hosted in private homes and synagogues that open their gates wide. Others sleep in the open air. In the end, everyone finds a place to sleep. No one said to his fellow, "There is no room for me to lodge overnight in Jerusalem." The next morning, they get up early and make their final preparations. Can you please give me 2 half shekels for this shekel? The pilgrim's most important preparation is spiritual. Before entering the temple, they must immerse in a ritual bath. The waters of the ritual bath cleanse the body of ritual impurity and the soul of profane thoughts. After immersing, they emerge from the waters of the ritual bath, cleansed and purified, as if born anew. I am standing inside a ritual bath. Scores of them have been uncovered here. One could enter on one side to immerse in the water and then emerge pure on the other side. In the southern part of the city, we found a huge pool in which tens of thousands of people could immerse all at once. This is the Shiloach Pool. The ascent to the Temple Mount starts at the Shiloach Pool, the home stretch. We are on the Stepped Street, a street used by pilgrims in the 1st century CE. It was uncovered in excavations that we've been conducting here for the last few years. The state of preservation of this street is amazing. It's tremendously wide and phenomenally long. This was the biggest street in Jerusalem and possibly in all of Judea. It extends 600 meters from the southern gates of the city to the gates of the Temple Mount, basically to the Temple Gates. The one monumental street links these gates. So, if there's one place that all our ancestors traversed on their way to the Temple Mount, it is here, where we are now. The climb up the steep street is hard, but now it is the heart, not the feet, that carries the pilgrims up. In a few minutes, they will be standing at the gates of the Temple Mount, the Huldah Gates. They will stand before God. At the entrance gate, the pilgrims stop and remove all symbols of wealth and status. They part with their non-religious objects, purses, staffs, and shoes. Here, these things are of no significance. Before God, everyone is equal. Even King Agrippa would place the basket on his shoulder and enter. The pilgrims march towards the entrance gate, ascend along the underground passage, and burst out onto the Temple Mount Plaza. What awaits them there shocks the senses. In the center of the plaza is a gold-covered sanctuary rising 50 meters and shining so brilliantly that people have to avert their eyes as if from the rays of the sun. An orchestra of hundreds of musical instruments, harps, flutes, trumpets, lyres, floods the Temple Mount with music. The Levites sing songs of praise to God, lifting the souls of the pilgrims. The pilgrim closes his eyes. When he lifts his gaze, he sees that he is not alone. With him are the other pilgrims. Everyone is here together. They're all comrades after their shared journey. When the pilgrims return home, they will carry in their hearts the memory of those wonderful days, the days of the pilgrimage to Jerusalem.